Okay, so shall we start our first episode of our Heal Venture Lab podcast, episode number 1. So my name is Jaemin Park. I'm a managing partner of Heal Venture Lab. Here with me is Samuel Kola, who is a business manager, BD manager of Heal Venture Lab, and of course Renzi, who's our EA. So yeah, so everybody, please say hello. Yeah,
Hi,
Hello,
hello.
you guys have to
hello
be.
everybody.
I think you guys have to be on screen. I mean,
Yeah, I think so.
Rinzi, you don't have to edit out like this kind of part. It's just the episode, just pilot.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay, very good. Hey, Samuel, where are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very good, very good. Where are you today?
Currently I'm in Malaysia. Just flew in a couple of days ago. It's a bit hot over here. I don't know how hot is it in Philippines actually.
Yeah, it's actually okay. I mean, humidity is there, but it's also a bit windy.
Yeah,
Uh, there's a kind of this current oil crisis, right?
yep.
So there's that going on. Yeah. Rinzi, where are you now?
Hi, sorry I can't turn on my cam since my Wi-Fi is a
You're the
bit
only
disruptive, yeah.
you're the only girl here, so we're gonna give you some room. Yeah. Okay. So
But
let's do a brief intro of about all of us. 1, 2, 3. And then I guess I'll hand the mic to you, Samuel, and then you can start asking some questions.
Okay.
But before we go there, right? Like I'm just looking at what's happening in the world. Let me look at the. Give me a second. I'll share my screen again. This is yeah.
Yeah, definitely the Iran stuff still going on for sure.
Yeah, so this is happening right now, right? So this is something that I'm following.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I mean this guy he keeps I mean flipping, flopping, and
He doesn't have like a standpoint on what he wants, to be honest. Really making the market shake a bit.
yeah. There's a talk that like some these guys some of his associates are like investing
Yeah.
ahead of a market, right? And you're almost like you're almost doing this market making almost.
Yeah.
It's kind of deliberately trying to bring down the price or up, right? I know. I mean, I did read that Trump's sons have
Mm.
invested in some drone company. I mean, this is not a
Mhm.
political podcast, but
Yeah.
obviously there's something to, I guess, think about, right?
Yeah.
One interesting. I haven't really looked at this today's one that much, but let me just go through. Yeah, you guys can still see it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Wait. Actually, when I was looking at this, right? Wait, how do I go to the other dates? I think here. Wait, no, or incorrect. There was one slide. There was one, I guess, a graph that I wanted to show that I thought was quite interesting, actually. I need to figure this out. Let's see. Here. 20. I need to go to the previous episode. Here. Yeah, okay, here we go. 23rd, I think. So one thing that was interesting was here. Okay. So you guys can see this.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this better. Let's see. This is not moving. So one thing is, you can see that if you look at the graph, right, the
Mm.
interest rate for overnight loan all the way to 30 years. Uh,
Mhm.
Before the war, I mean, the rate was as such. And I mean, my understanding was that the Fed and the central bank were going to cut the rate.
Yeah.
But now because of the I mean, normally you cut the rate when I mean normally when you increase the rate when you have an inflation, right?
Yeah.
Wait, let me okay. I always get this part confused. Yeah. So the plan was that they were gonna like, okay, yeah. If the rate is too low, then obviously it can lead to like inflation. So that's why you
Inflation.
kind of keep the inflation in control, right? But because of the war, I mean the oil shock, right? Whenever there's like an oil shock, then typically I think the term is a stagflation. So you have an inflation going up, think the price of the goods are going up, but the market is not growing. So that's kind of
Yep.
where we are now. And the actually the interest rate has been going up, I mean, significantly. Look at this. It's like almost like a 1%. I mean, I guess we call this like 100 basis points, right? So it's like
Yeah.
increase. And I mean, of course, some markets are a bit different. I mean, they're all behaving differently, but that's kind of what's going on. And that means that with a higher interest rate, of course, the borrowing costs will go up.
Yeah.
And when the borrowing costs go up, then there'll be less investment. And of course, like economy will contract, right?
Mm.
That's kind of what we're looking at. And of course, uh, if I mean, if the I mean, some people are saying that because of this war, even if it's over, let's say soon, the
Mm-hmm.
the aftershock could be significant. But that's something that we have to watch out for. And I recently wrote a news article for Filipino newspaper Rappler
Mm-hmm.
about the so back in the 80s, or I think it was like back in the 70s, when the
Mm-hmm.
OPEC, when the also when the Middle Eastern countries started banding together and formed the OPEC, right?
Yep.
They basically like kind of started limiting the supply, right? And
Mm.
that was the first I think oil shock. Because
Mm.
if you go to the colonial days, actually the Western countries were getting a lot of this oil for free. I mean, not free, but
Yeah.
you give a very small royalty to the local countries. And
Mm.
then, of course, after the World War II, I mean, the Middle Eastern countries just started asking for more shares, right? So
Yeah.
instead of giving us 5% royalty, we want a 50-50, right? So that's kind of how it happened. And of course, there was some resistance. And I think in the 1979, I have to check the year, but sometime then, these countries really started organizing as OPEC, right?
Mm.
I forgot what OPEC stands for, but yeah, basically that's when there was a time when because of that the oil price also went up.
Yeah.
Uh, I remember the interest rate skyrocketed uh, to almost 18%.
Oof.
This is the US, the interest rate was going up to 18%. And that was actually I mean, this is more for the Philippine context, but
Mm.
also in other developing countries, um, they basically got it increased the borrowing cost so much that a lot of corrupt governments in the
Mm.
world, their debt cost went skyrocketing, and some of these guys imploded. For instance, the Philippines, the Marcos administration borrowed a lot of money on a short-term loan.
Mm.
Like they're going for overnight like kind of loans, right? And
Yeah.
of course, when the company could not, I mean, the country could not pay back, they had to declare bankruptcy.
Mm.
And of course, I think in the US there was this thing called a Brady bond, where there was an opportunity for all these developing countries to kind of restructure their debt. And
Mm.
nowadays, if you ask about the Brady bond, people normally think about the LATAM, like Latin American countries. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of Latin American countries also had a lot of debt, and they had to kind of restructure. Philippines, I think, was not really that lucky. Like they didn't get a good, clean restructuring. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's something like that is happening again. I mean, of course, I mean, we never know, but hopefully not. And of course, the countries have gotten more smarter since then, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now their debt, now their borrowing strategy is a bit smarter than before. But of course, that's something I wrote about on the news. So anyhow,
Yeah.
I dived into this topic, even though anyhow.
I think it's a challenging topic because it's something that is going on, to be honest. And I think right now, was it that Philippines, they mentioned about working from home, 4 days, and then maybe Fridays working from home. So because it's a global thing that has affected everybody in different ways within the investment industry, within the medical industry because of the energy. Now, if we be having an energy crisis, then it means it can be maybe a bit worse than COVID, to be honest, but let's hope for the best.
Yeah, so I mean, it could be like the COVID all over again,
Yeah,
except I mean, it's really the man-made disaster.
exactly.
Actually, it might be the COVID. There's a talk about the Chinese lab, Wuhan lab, right? So that's I mean, okay, we don't. That's not the purpose of this podcast. Talk about. Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of our so we can talk about this kind of a daily trends whenever we start the episode. But
Yeah,
anyhow, okay, so let's go into the I think let's go into the main content. Maybe I'll do a very brief intro about myself,
yeah,
and then you share a bit your background briefly, and then
mhm.
we will start diving into then our hand, I guess the well, you know what? I'll present the map slide after this, and then
All right.
that you can ask questions. So yeah, so I think for those of you guys who haven't, I mean, who haven't heard about us, yeah, we've been running this company called the Hill Venture Lab last 3 years, and we've been building this as kind of an investment advisory firm. I mean, I think originally we were trying to do this as a fund, venture fund, but of course you need money for that. So we decided to run this as an accelerator first, and that's kind of where we are now, right? We basically work on the sell side, but we also do market access. My original background, I know I'm kind of like jumping a bit, but my original background, of course, I studied medicine, right? I studied medicine. And then after that, after my medical training, I went to do my residency training. So I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Korean actually. I'm Korean, but I grew up in Atlanta. And then, of course, I went to Singapore to do medicine, Duke NUS program. And after that, I went back to US to do my residency training at Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, Texas. And then,
Yeah.
of course, I had a change of interest at the time. So I pivoted my career to investment. And that's when I worked with a company called Partners Group, a Swiss private equity fund. And then I think that brought me back to Singapore. And then, of course, after Partners Group, I went into venture capital. So focusing more on medtech. I mean, you guys already know, but I'm just kind of sharing this right for the audience. So yeah, so that's kind of where my career was. And yeah, so with the Hill Venture Lab, I mean, I just pause here. Samuel, why don't you go first? Yeah.
Sure. Um, well, my name is Samuel Kola. Unlike Dr. Jaemin with quite a lot of experience, I mean, I currently been working with Hill Venture Lab for the past 3 years now, and been quite an awesome journey. I majored in actually business management, which with a focus in procurement and supply chain management, which entirely involved purchasing products for organizations, be it equipment, medical equipment, be it stationaries. That was my focus, but not until around December 2022, where I started working with Hill Venture Lab as a business development manager, of which I pivoted working globally with an Amsterdam company, traveling across the globe, working within business development. Well, quite gained a lot of experience within this area and how to interact with lots of founders and with the help of Dr. Jaemin for sure. Yeah, pretty much a short intro about me, and maybe we can start by getting to know more about Hill Venture Lab and trying to ask Dr. Jaemin on where he is with Hill Venture Lab and probably where he looks where he sees Hilvenchola being within the next maybe 5 to 10 years to come. Well, Dr. Jaemin, how about we get to know a bit more about Hilvenchola? So, yeah.
Hey, sure. So maybe I'll have a Runcy share. Well, you know what? I'm the one sharing screen, right? I still have this the whole time. Oh, jeez. Okay, wait, give me a second. I'll share the screen actually. What deck do we use? I have to check. I think this is the one. Let me check. Yeah, see, it's gonna be a freestyle like this, so no pressure. Yeah.
Yep.
So here's my full screen. Yeah. The focus is the healthcare access and affordability. Yeah, I think that's our key word, even though actually a lot of our current deals are not as strict as we like to be.
Yep.
Let's keep going. I'll just quickly go through. So basically, we're trying to really make this into a one-stop shop, right? Where we're not just working with a one particular group, but really we are trying to be able to work with everybody, founders, investors, corporates, different types of industry players, but also the customers, right? The end users, the doctors, the patients, the government, right? And of course, when I set this up in Singapore, I decided that, hey, you know what? Like, I only have a finite, limited resources. I'm not backed by a big group, or I'm not like I'm not a like government mandated program. So I decided, you know what? I should really be resourceful with what I have and kind of build my own niche, right? Like I'm not even Singaporean. I'm Korean. I mean, I'm American, but I'm Korean, right? So obviously, like I have to kind of have my own core strength. And I realized if I did this in Singapore, I probably would have shut down the shop in 6 months. So obviously, having access to Philippines was actually very good. But I'm not a Filipino, so obviously, like, what did I do? So I moved to Philippines, but also really covered other countries as well, Thailand, Vietnam. I used to cover like a lot. I used to travel a lot also to Vietnam as well. Uh, Decided, you know what, let's make this into kind of my base. I mean, I'm not a local here, right? But having that kind of a network, building that kind of a network is a strength, right? And there are 20 other incubator, accelerator, investor advisory kind of groups in Singapore. I mean, even more. So you have to kind of have your own focus, right? And your own backyard, so to speak, right? So that was the idea for this. And of course, we wanted to make this into a one-stop shop for the region as well, right? Because I mean, obviously, Singapore is a small country. There are a lot of other bigger countries around the region.
Yep.
Of course, they all have their own strengths and weaknesses, and they also have different culture, different expectations, different interests. So that's kind of why we decided to make this into like a regional play. That was my original view with the Hill Venture Lab when I first started, right? But of course, as I pivoted away from like impact, just the generic healthcare, the impact, or even women's health, these to I mean, you can see like I've been doing this for last 3 years, right? Going to different countries, doing events, working with the different partners. Actually, I would consider myself actually originally an introvert, right? Like I was not like I didn't like giving talks. I mean, after doing this, is like I have to do this. It's like like I just go there and talk, right? And of course, I guess it's something that as you get older, you kind of build this, right?
Yep.
But of course, I mean, you have to have some kind of like some theme, right? You wanna like I mean, you wanna communicate something, right? So that's kind of my journey with this. And of course, my view has changed since then. We started pivoting more into life science, biopharma, medical device. I was already doing medical device before this,
Yep.
but even coming in, we decided to do more biopharma as well, and trying to see what's our strength in the life science for the region.
Mm.
To be honest, there's a lot of incubator accelerators in every country here.
Yeah.
Even Philippines have a lot of now accelerator incubators.
Mm.
Thailand for sure, right? So you have to kind of have a more focus than just generic. There are a lot of just startup incubator accelerators, but you need to have
Mm.
more than that, right? So we decided our focus should be a bit more on life science, because obviously our team background, and also that's something that is a kind of a less available in this part of the world.
Yep.
Um, so moving to now this map here, can you still see the screen?
Yep.
Yeah. So with this, right? Obviously, now we're looking at it beyond Southeast Asia, right? I think if I stuck to the health tech, more impact kind of play, then this can be
Mm.
my world. But if we're gonna do a life science, then you have to, I mean, you have to work with the US, right? Whether you like it or not, right? Because
Mm.
a lot of innovation still comes from the US, and all the medical products, if they want to make it big, right, you have to still sell in the US market, right?
Yep.
The drug or device. So that's kind of that's when I decided. I think I didn't have this view when I first started the Hill Venture Lab, but
Yep.
I think only about a year or two ago I decided, you know what? Okay, what is our thesis for the US market, right? I didn't have it, right?
Yeah.
And then one day it just dawned, it just dawned to me. It's like, wow, oh, actually, actually, I did my training in Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, at the time when I was doing my training, Texas already had a lot of interesting incubator accelerators.
Mhm.
TMCX, Texas Medical Center Accelerator is big, right?
Yep.
They have a lot of these infrastructures already. But having
Mm.
said that, most of these guys haven't really made it to here. In fact, most of the Asian, I guess, investors and companies, when they think about like a US, they're looking at Boston or San Francisco.
Mm.
So I decided, it just kind of I just had this awakening. Hey, you know what? Because when I first went to do my medical training, I went to Baylor, and
Yeah.
I was, I mean, of course, I like the name, and also there were some other personal reasons why I went to Texas. That
Mm.
part I'll probably go into that maybe when I do my biography part. Uh,
Yep.
but of course, when I pivoted from medicine to investment, then there was really not much angle with Texas because my previous roles were really more like private equity for like the reason, right?
Mm.
And of course, a venture capital for device. But we were not thinking. I was not thinking that far, right? But then when I did start seeing the angle for Texas, I realized, hey,
Mm.
actually, me doing the training in Texas was actually I mean, they had some purpose because now that I'm trying to go back to the U.S. Imagine if I did my training in, let's say, Atlanta, Georgia. That's
Yeah.
where I grew up, right? Atlanta, Georgia is a good place, yes, but it's not the same tier as these guys, right?
Yeah.
Or let's say, I think I had another opportunity to do it at Duke University, in North Carolina.
Mm.
North Carolina has, of course, a Research Triangle Park, but
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, Durham, Raleigh, the Chapel Hill Triangle is not the Houston, Boston, San Francisco, Chicago kind of tier. So
Yep.
there was a purpose for me to actually do my training in Houston. And
Mm.
yeah, so basically that's why our yeah, I think I kind of got like long-winded, but that anyhow, this is freestyle anyways.
Yep.
So basically, I realized, the cost is a lot more cheaper here, number one. In terms of a medical center, they have a huge medical center complex in
Yep.
Texas. Not just Houston, Dallas. Dallas is almost, I mean, probably as big, right? So, and Texas is still the largest state in the continental USA. So,
Mm.
actually, one thing that Houston ecosystem is lacking compared to Boston or San Francisco is
Mm.
uh, the investment culture, right? The VC or proximity to the East Coast investors. But
Yeah.
the times are changing. I think I'll probably be able to have a better insight when I go back to the US, or we have
Mm.
a American, we have a US based speaker to kind of give a more up to date insights. But that's kind of what
Yep.
I see with the US. Going back to Asia, right? Um, Singapore has been trying to do their own innovation with a biotech and medical device, right?
Mm.
But the thing is, every country, I mean, Korea, same thing. So I didn't put China on the map. Maybe I think the next time we should start doing that. But
Yep.
I mean, traditionally, we haven't had as much activities in China and Japan. So that's
Mm.
why it's kind of not our covered markets yet. But all these countries, right? They all want to go to US, right? Korea actually investing a lot in the US already. Japan also, right? China used to, but I think not as much nowadays because of the geopolitics. Uh,
Yep.
so all these countries, like all the biotech, especially those in the biotech, medical device, life science industry, they
Mm.
want to go to the US. But of course, all these guys are thinking about going to Boston or San Francisco.
Awesome. Yep.
But two is another thing I realized is all these guys, Koreans, Taiwanese, I mean, they're not talking to each other. So,
Yeah.
of course, I was in Korea I think 2 months ago, right? And
Mm.
we talked to the investors in Korea and Taiwan. So none of these guys are sharing deals or investing together or in
Mm.
each other countries' companies. And all these guys, let's say, oh, we set up a partnership with MIT, or
Mm.
yes, we went to Berkeley. We have a factory, we have a office in San Jose, right?
Mm.
But we don't have engagement with the neighboring countries. So that's the problem with the Asia side. So I
Yeah.
look at this as three different streams of I think activities. One is US to Asia. And this is what a lot of investors like Stephen, or Dr. Stephen Fua and the Pavilion Capital and all these guys, uh, and also a lot of funds here, they like investing in US companies, US technologies, right? That's one stream. Now, with a lot of funding challenges in the US, a lot of companies are coming to our region, as you guys know, right? Uh,
Yep.
that's one stream. The other stream is Asia to US. And this is the same problem whether you're in Taiwan or Korea or anywhere else. In fact, when I was in the JP Morgan Taipei event last month, and I was having the lunch with the chancellor of
Mm.
Berkeley, and I think there was like 8, 9 other family offices.
Yep.
All the Taiwanese guys, their question is, number one, can U.S. companies come to Taiwan? Number one. Number two, how can our Taiwanese companies go to U.S. and commercialize?
Mm.
And of course, if you're a Taiwanese biotech or medical device, you have to have I mean, it's like this. We just hosted our that US medtech company Vision, right? Uh,
Yep.
last week or the week ago to talk about the sales strategy, the US commercialization, what are the considerations, right?
Mm.
You can see, right? These are two professional, seasoned sales executives who has
Yeah.
decades of career in the US, right?
Yep.
And you're managing many different hospitals in each state, right? I mean, US is also not equal. Right? It's not just one place, right? There's so many different places, so you have to kind of like prioritize which one to focus first. Number one,
Yep.
how to engage academic medical centers or private medical centers. How do you engage American key opinion leaders? I mean,
Mm.
there's a certain cultural thing with being in the US, right? US
Yep.
obviously also has their own culture, right? So, and of course, it's not the same across the US. Like South
Mm.
is different from the North. West Coast is very different from the East Coast, right? So, to be able to navigate, sorry, I'm gonna bring my dog up now.
Mm. Okay, no worries.
So, to be able to navigate that kind of complexity, right? As a foreigner, especially coming from Asia. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
it's the same challenge whether you're coming from Europe or Africa or LATAM, right?
Yep.
But I mean, I think that's especially like a lot of us people in Asia generally tend to be not very kind of a not like less confrontational, right? And
Mm.
kind of like want to kind of like watch instead of acting, like
Yep.
impulsively, right? Unlike
Mm.
certain culture. I mean, I don't. Okay, you know what? I don't even need to go there, but like some culture, some culture, we will just go and hustle, right?
Yeah.
Some culture is not, right? So that's a challenge with the Taiwan. I mean, but not just Taiwan, Korea also, right?
Mm.
Have Chinese people in general. I mean, I can say this because I'm Asian, but just our impression with like mainland Chinese people, like they have the guts to kind of like tackle, even if they're not
Mm.
comfortable, right? But certain, I mean, those of us who are not in, who are in a different Asian culture, and this is
Mm.
also individual, right? Some people
Yeah.
are actually they can do it, but I mean, most people want to just kind of stay in the norm, right? So that was kind of a thing with the Taiwanese. The lunch we had was like it's difficult for also for Taiwan born, Taiwan trained, or let's say Singapore born, Singapore born trained, or Koreans.
Mm.
Koreans don't even speak English as fluently as some of these guys, right?
Yeah.
So I mean nowadays, okay, nowadays it's different, but like if you look at like some of the older generations, they have trouble, right?
Mm.
So that's kind of the complexity. So that's okay. I got too much sidetracked, but basically again, three different streams. Number one was
Mm.
the US to Asia. Number two is Asia to US. And I gotta say the Asia to US, everybody's doing their own Asia to US.
Yeah.
That's something that should change. I mean, like from the American point of view, let's say you're in San Francisco, you're the VC,
Yeah.
and then you have guys from China, Korea, Japan, Philippines, or let's say
Mhm.
Singapore, Indonesia. They
Mm.
come to you and say, "Oh, yeah, please invest," or let's say, "Oh, we will take you to Asia." When they say they take you to Asia, they're talking about the old country, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I mean, I'm sure this is the same, right? Other countries, other
Yeah.
reasons as well. So that's kind of the issue. And I mean, us in Asia, I mean, except China, all other countries are smaller countries. So
Mm.
it's kind of hard to have a scale, like especially Singaporeans with a like was it 5-6 million population, right?
Mm.
I mean, you don't have that scale unlike mainland China, right? Maybe
Mm.
mainland China has a scale. Singapore
Yeah.
has a scale, right? So you don't have that kind of scale to engage the US one-on-one in equal kind of dynamic, right?
Mm.
So that's why I think more the reason for the Asian countries to kind of engage more. And that's there's an angle for Asia to Asia. There's a third angle, is a Asia to Asia. And
Mm.
like the Koreans being able to work with I think right now, okay, if I look at Korea, right? Korea is between Japan, China, and then Russia and North Korea,
Mm.
right? And in the south is maybe Taiwan, and I mean nowadays you can fly. But
Yeah.
if you look at any Korean, just kind of the world view of Koreans is going to be number one, US, Japan, China,
Yeah.
and then maybe Russia, right? Uh,
Yeah.
and then
Arabia.
after that, I mean before they start thinking about other reasons, right? This is kind
Mm.
of their immediate backyard, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of like, and also because of the geography, they're kind of like in a stuck, like especially Korea. If you look at it, it's almost like an island, right?
No.
Think
Yeah.
so you're kind of stuck there. Good thing with Korea is that there is a sizable population. I mean, compared to let's
Mm.
say Taiwan or other smaller countries.
Mm.
And they also have some, I guess, established retail investor base, right? And of course, Korea also has developed strong ties with the US as well. But
Mm.
I mean, still as a country, I mean, still as a market, is not. I mean, it's smaller than Philippines, Vietnam, or Thailand. All these countries actually are bigger than Korea if you look at the number of the people, right?
Mm.
So, as an Asian country, you have to kind of have a scale, and obviously, and these guys actually are not doing enough, right? They kind of have some kind of a historical rivalry. Taiwan,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even that big, but like sometimes they have some kind of some mild, kind of almost like a joke, but
Mm.
they're also competing in a similar areas like semiconductors, right? So not much
Yeah.
business between the two. When I look at Taiwan, so Koreans, when they engage business, usually US, Japan, China, right?
Mm.
Taiwan usually thinking about China, right? A lot of Taiwanese go to China business. They also go to Japan, right?
Japan. Yeah.
Japan and Taiwan have some historical ties, right? So they a lot of Taiwanese also like Japan. So there's a lot of some activities going on. Not so
Mm.
much, and also Taiwan actually, despite the proximity to the Philippines, like most people don't go to Philippines, vice versa. Same with the
Yeah.
Filipinos also don't go to the Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Yeah. So that's kind of and Singapore maybe not so recently more, but not so much. So
Mm,
they're also kind of doing their own thing. Compared to these other two countries, Singapore, okay, well, if we have a mainland Chinese person, they might
mm,
say, hey, Taiwan is still China. Like, I mean, anyhow, that's not my point of this podcast. So, I mean,
yeah.
it's just an ecosystem, right? Uh,
Mm,
Singapore, compared to these two other markets,
mm,
um, have been a bit more engaging. I mean, they have a more regional interaction. I mean, just
mhm.
because Singapore is a small country, it's an island, right? And
Yep.
they need other countries to survive, right? So that Singapore obviously is a lot more engaging with all
Mm,
these neighboring countries. Of course, um, there's a limit on how much Singapore can do, right? I mean, it's a small population versus all these giants compared to them,
yeah.
right? So basically, the Asia to Asia will be doing more business.
Mm,
Singapore is really ahead on that. Taiwan and Korea could do more.
go.
That's the third stream of a Hill Venture Lab.
Mm,
So I think my original thesis with the Hill Venture was really just here, but now we're expanding to bigger horizon and also how do we tackle the US? I haven't even you see the China map is missing, right? Because
yeah.
really engaged much with China. But of course, our Q1 AHA next week, our investor quarterly event is going to be touching the Chinese founder.
Yeah.
Yes, I think. But anyhow, so that's kind of the direction with the company. Uh,
Awesome.
yeah, I will just say this. We are acting as a cross-border life science investment, I guess, a platform
Mm,
accelerator, not the traditional accelerator.
mhm,
We do need to pivot this eventually to a fund. I mean
mhm.
that's where I see the opportunity is. Eventually, we need to do this as a fund because um, if you're not running a fund, it's I mean the economics is going to be challenging, right?
Mm,
Like I mean, a lot of the bigger groups than us who are kind of having difficulties.
yeah.
So about my view on our Hill Venture Lab the world view. So okay, so I'll
That's
just stop here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually great. Having understood how Hill Venture Lab works across the region, actually within Asia to be precise. Well, maybe you give me a clarification because when I was doing a research, I back then you were focusing more into the women's health and most of the priorities were within the women's health. How did this come to change? What affected this to the point that you decided the women health will not be the main focus as it used to be?
Okay. Actually, I have a talk I'm giving in Philippines in 2 days. I'm gonna show some
No.
of. Give me a second. Where is my Renzi, would you share the link, the woman's presentation deck?
Sure, okay.
Yeah. Samuel, you're getting a sneak peek of this talk I'm gonna give on Thursday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Will it be online or just on
This
site?
is in person, so I'm
Ah,
gonna go
okay.
there and give a talk. Um, yeah. So basically, this group of overseas Filipino workers association is doing some event, and
Mm,
I'm giving a talk. And, I mean, I'm not trying to present this one, but
yeah.
I'm just gonna quickly go through. I'm actually using a lot of Filipino art to kind of
Mm,
drive home some of the point. It's quite
yeah.
interesting. Um, okay, so why woman, right? So initially, when I started the Hill Venture, right,
Yep.
I wanted to do impact because my original space before that was medtech,
Yeah.
and medtech only is also kind of also restricting. And so when I decided to set up a Hill Venture, I wanted to go into impact space and more in the women's health because I saw a lot of opportunities in women's health at the time. Right? And this actually could be another episode, by the way. But
Yeah.
uh, I mean, just to make it a bit shorter, um, of course, my conclusion after all this was that since I'm not a woman,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even have a. I mean, our current group is mostly men, right? I think all
Yeah.
men.
Yeah.
Before when we had Sarah, it was different, but we're
Katrina.
all
Yeah.
men, right? So, that's the answer.
Yeah.
That's the answer. That's the answer.
Yeah.
But I think going back to this, right? I mean, so I did see the need for this, and actually, the story comes back to my private equity days when I was working in the partners group.
Mm.
Let me see if I have okay, I don't have that slide, but when I was looking at this one company in Bangalore,
Yeah.
South India. There was this company that was manufacturing sutures and
Mm.
consumables. And I visited the company. I think they had about 2,000 plus people, right?
Mm.
Spent a few days doing the due diligence and meeting the management. And,
Mm.
of course, I mean, I spent almost the whole week. I was
Mhm.
just meeting men, right? Management is men. I mean, of course, CEO, the VPs, all the senior managers are men, right? But
Yeah.
the factory assembly line, 300 women. I
So
mean,
this was the company in India, is it?
yeah, I don't want to name them. Anyhow, it's okay.
Yeah.
Uh, anyhow, this is not just them. This is the same thing in other parts of India as well. I mean, but this is something recurring in other parts of Asia as well. Um, so okay, this is actually better with the picture. I don't have the picture here with me.
Yeah.
And do one episode just on this. I love to do on this one. I
Yeah.
turned
Okay.
the interview offer with a one
Mm.
podcast group from a one woman's group. But I think we should do it for us.
Okay.
So the assembly line had 300 women wearing this like headgear and everything,
Yeah.
all dressed in white, right? And they were doing this. And then even the floor manager I was talking to was men.
Mm.
So I was like, wow, this company is like so many women. It's
Mhm.
probably like 95% woman, but it's run by 5% men.
Man.
There's
Oh.
no female voice whatsoever.
Mm.
So when I went back to Singapore and I was reporting to my investment committee, at the time, ESG, this was about 2018. ESG was
Mm.
a big deal, right? So that's when I asked so at the time it was more like a checkbox, right?
Yeah.
Are you doing anything illegal, right? Okay, I'm gonna put it up
Yeah.
here. Are you doing anything illegal? Are you
Mm.
doing gambling or are you doing weapons trading, things like that? Right? It was a very, very like a checklist kind of stuff. I mean, now it's a lot
Mm.
more sophisticated, right? So I made my report and I told the investment committee, hey, this company has a lot of women, but it's run by a small group of powerful men. So it could look bad for the optics. Right? I mentioned that.
Mm. Yeah.
Of course, fast forward a few years later,
Mm.
and I was when I was starting Hill Venture, I said, you know what? That's actually a gap. I need to fix that. And
Yeah.
basically, that was the story for women. And when I first started the women's health strategy, it was actually supposed to be at the time a lot of interest also in the woman investment, gender lens investing.
Yeah.
Of course, there were few funds in Singapore already who was investing on women founders. I think you see a lot of this in other countries, US as well. Woman
Yeah.
founder investing in the woman VC, right? Uh,
Mm.
tech VC, whatever, something like that. So I said, you know what? I want to have a bit of a more inclusive strategy. Of course,
Mm.
everybody's already doing this, the woman in major leadership, right?
Mm.
But if you look at this company here, right? Uh, this was an Indian company that's developing a women's health product. But
Yeah.
I mean, the management, CEO, CMO, all men.
Man.
So that's
Raise a flag.
it's like they were telling me about their story, and it's like a group of three Indian men pitching
Mm.
about the woman femtech startup in front of all these femtech woman gender lens people. It was really hilarious. I mean, well, anyhow, so that's when I that that's what that's when I said, you know what? Actually,
Mm.
we should have this kind of an inclusive strategy. So three criteria. One is woman in major leadership position. Number
Mhm.
two is uh, company should focus on women's health. So let's say if a company is doing a breast cancer product, that's 100%
Yep.
health, right?
Women. Mm.
Cannot be men's health, right? Uh,
Yeah.
let's say if you're doing a telehealth, I mean, it's going to be a mix of men and women, right? So second.
Yeah.
And the third was actually something that came to me, the idea came to me after my experience in the Philippines.
Mm.
When I first started doing business in Philippines,
Mhm.
I was advising a few groups. One of them was a molecular lab, and
Mhm.
one of the staff came to me, and I mean the lab is not very big, but one of the staff came to me. I mean, I just hired this girl for like after 1 week, she's like asking me for money. I mean, okay. So, okay. In this part of the world, I mean, I know
Yeah.
the company sometimes lends money to staff, right?
Mhm.
Just from my point of view, I grew up in the U.S. I worked in Singapore. I mean, nobody does that, right? So
Yep.
that was kind of a cultural shock. Uh,
Mm.
but what I do understand is that bigger Filipino companies and also some other Asian countries, they will offer some kind of they will let you borrow. Hey, by the way, don't get wrong ideas here now. Anyhow, oh, so this why okay. Uh, that's why I said the freestyle is actually quite fun. But anyhow, okay. So let's go back to this. Basically, they were lending money for the staff.
Employees. Mm.
Then that idea then, and also there are a lot of women workers here. Actually, the Philippines is unlike India.
Yeah.
Philippines has a lot of women leaders already. There's
Mm.
actually a gender diversity already. I mean, okay, some people might disagree with me, but and actually now the men are kind of being kind of macho and all that stuff here, but at least I mean, by default, a lot of women working here, right? So
Yeah.
actually, some of the companies are like 99% women, right? Like
Mm.
the Indian company I was telling you. So that's when I said, you know what? Maybe like I should include this as a third criteria. So if a labor force is more than 50% women, majority
Yeah.
women, then it's also investable. So I'll give an example. You know what? This will be another episode. Okay, we're going here. This is a
Yep.
company I came across. It's a run by a guy. Okay, so some guy. Uh,
Mhm.
it's a telehealth, some diagnostics. So it's also not women's health. But this
Yep.
company hires 99% women,
Yep.
300 women. I'm not even going to say where this is from because I don't want to give too much, visibility. But
Yeah.
basically, this company hires 300 women, right? So that got me the idea. So let's make the investment criteria one of the three. So leadership or focus is really women's health or
Mhm.
a major woman workforce, right?
Mhm.
And then, of course, from there, we say, okay, I'm gonna, I mean, the company has to have at least one of the three. I cannot do, okay, if the company is none of the three, then obviously this is out of our criteria, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
But if it's at least one of the three, then investable. And the idea is this. Okay, my dog keeps, okay, come here.
No worries.
So the idea is, okay, so like for instance, we go back to this Indian company. I'm gonna tell them, look, I mean, okay, actually, this is what I told them. Look, if you need to get investment, right?
Mm.
You are going to femtech event and pitching as women's health company, but you're all men. You need to think. So I basically,
Yeah.
okay, your goal should be to hire at least one senior woman leader. I mean, I'm not
Mm.
going to ask you to be, get a woman CEO, but at least to get I think we compromise to the head of sales. And in Singapore, if you go right now, Singapore,
Yeah.
you want to get a job in Singapore, the companies have to show that they went through 10 different, I mean, this was a few years back. I don't know. I mean, it's probably similar now. 10 different local applications before hiring a foreigner.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're familiar with it. I mean, every country has
Yeah.
something. So I told them, look, just like that, you need to screen 10 woman applicants per one man.
Mm.
And the Indian guy told me, oh, I never thought about this before. So that was basically the idea. So basically, for this guy to get investment, they need to work on what they don't have. Right?
Yeah.
This was a company run by this successful American woman. So she's
Mm.
really a woman leader, but doing some kind of a healthcare marketplace. But
Mm.
she was not doing women's health, right? Generic healthcare, right? And
Yeah.
of course, her staff were like mixed, right? So for
Mm.
her, I said, you're already a woman leader, so that's already checks one box. But you
Yeah.
now need to work on doing women's health.
Myself.
So
Mm.
right now, your revenue, give me your revenue. So, and let's say if your revenue is 100%, how much is a woman's health? And she told me
Yeah.
about 25%. So I said, okay, maybe you need to increase that to maybe 30 to 40 to 50, right?
Mm.
I mean, men and women, I mean, in a lot of countries, actually more men, I mean, more women than men,
Mm.
but you're only doing 25% women's health. So that's something's wrong. So that means you need to do more. You basically need to sell more women's products. Maybe
Mm.
a pregnancy test kit or fertility. I mean, or
A lot of the main
menstrual
product.
or menopause, right? So there's a lot
Yep.
in the women's health. There's a lot of areas to go into. So that was actually my mission to her, right? And for this guy, I told him, look, I think you need to, okay, this is the next slide. So you need to think about giving some benefits.
Mm.
The thing is, women who work in a company like this typically are very marginalized.
Yeah.
Like these are like workers, like literally like workers, house helpers, kind of a level people, right? Don't have
Yep.
a university degree or like maybe just went to high school. They're like
Mm.
very manual work, right? So these people need a lot of support. But
Mm.
obviously, a lot of companies and even the governments are, like, I mean, whole Filipino economy, OFW. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar, but the OFW, that's their economy is remittance, right? And
Yeah.
the Filipino women normally go overseas, usually, I mean, domestic helper,
Mm.
of course, maybe a nurse, right?
Yep.
I mean, obviously, nurse would be a lot better, right? Of course,
Mass. Yep.
men also go, but so you can imagine, right? So all the whole people here, I mean, here people here benefit the benefits because all these OFWs and women are working on sacrificing to,
Mm.
who wants to go work in okay, Singaporean family
Mm.
house, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like I wouldn't want to be in that role because I mean, the like people from, I mean, not just Singapore, but also China, Korea, Japan. I mean, we can be very difficult people, right?
Yeah.
So, so I don't want to be in that role, but these people are doing it. So that means that you're making a sacrifice. So
Mm.
you're hiring marginalized people like that. You need to think about some kind of a benefits or subsidies, right?
Mm.
We're looking at things like, I mean, these are big companies. I mean, some of these are bigger companies. They have the resources, right?
Mm.
Well, like for instance, maybe a sanitary pad for the young woman or
Mm.
contraceptives, right? And also, I devised some ideas about kind of creating some kind of subsidies program based on the
Yeah.
performance, and said, you know what, if your employee is able to meet the sales target, right, then maybe you can have some kind of a grant or even loan program. Because I mentioned
Mm.
earlier that in this part of the world, people do a lot of borrowing, especially in this income class, right? So
Yeah.
what I told them, maybe you should think about, and by the way, the money that you give to these women, I mean, of course they pay back or whatever, right? But
Mm.
that money goes to trickle down into, I mean, first of all, like let's say if someone gives me money, right, or you money.
Mm.
I mean, maybe you're different, but a lot of men are thinking about like, okay, so what gadget am I gonna get? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that now because I'm running my own company, but
Yeah.
before, like when I was an employee, right? And I get my paycheck, I'm like, okay, let's go party. Or okay, let's go buy something, right? Let's go
Yeah.
buy something, or bike or computer parts or something.
Mm.
You give the money to women. No, the first thing is children. Number one.
Yeah.
And then number two is the parents and the relatives. Right?
Mm.
So that's why when you talk to the older folks, it's always like, oh, you should have a daughter. Because daughter really takes care of you, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody's like that, but I mean this is general I mean this is I'm sure this is
Oh,
same.
yeah.
I'm sure this is same whether you go to Africa or Asia
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Very same.
it's like that, right? So that's the thing, right? So and of course when you increase a woman leadership, so basically I whatever the initiatives I described, right?
Mm.
This is already almost a whole episode, right? Just
Mm.
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe Renzi can cut this portion for the other episode. So basically, these are different ways to improve women's health and women leadership.
Mm.
So that's actually what I wanted to do. And you see, I'm enjoying talking about this, right? But
Yep.
unfortunately, back to the my original point, you need a woman to do this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you need to have at least one woman, right? Right now in our team, more men, right?
Yeah.
And of course, there are other angles we can play with a Hill Venture, right? I mean, with our life science investment, biotech, medical device strategy. So that's why we put the woman thesis on hold,
Yep.
and I put this one in the front. Yeah, one of these days I do want to go back to that. I mean, because I do see
Yeah.
a need for it. I'm giving a talk on this in 2 days, actually, in front of
Mm.
I think 300 OFWs.
Awesome.
Of course, I mean that's just an event, I mean they're not going to invest or anything like that, right? But
Mm.
yeah, so that's kind of the thesis. Yeah, sorry for the long winded talk. Uh,
No worries.
yeah, so that's why we are doing this instead of
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. That's quite an overview for how you came about focusing more into other jurisdictions rather than the women's health. Maybe if you can clarify more on to our viewers on the focus areas, which areas are you focusing on? Is it maybe to be a bit clear on this on the regions you mentioned about Southeast Asia? Do you also look into other Asian countries or even other regions like Europe? Are you looking to engage some of these companies or founders within these areas?
Yeah, so just going back to the I mean, I don't have the map, but
Yeah.
so a lot of the companies we get nowadays are from the US, right?
Yep.
And investors want US technologies, US or
Yep.
Europe or other developed markets, right? Especially for
Mhm.
stuff like biotech and medical device, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but I think there's going to be more room for other regions as well. Asia for sure, right? China, already a lot of biotech companies, a lot of pharma companies are going to China to
Mm.
source molecules and to acquire technologies.
Mm.
So that's already happening. And I do foresee that we're going to see more of this in other parts of Southeast Asia as well.
Yep.
Thailand already started doing a lot of life science, right?
Mm.
Um, of course, Africa, Latin America, they all have their own needs for the access affordability, and also same with
Yep.
Asia, right? So I think as we see more of these innovations and developments happening in the life science, uh,
Mm-hmm.
of course, we're going to have more like a straightforward, first in class kind of stuff. But I think from our part of the world,
Mm-hmm.
I believe we're going to see more something that aligns more with the access affordability, right?
Awesome.
Like, for instance, like malaria. That's
Yeah.
still a big problem in a lot of parts of Africa, right? Uh,
Yeah.
just as malaria is a big problem in a lot of parts of in this world as well.
Mm.
So maybe like the innovation will address something like that. Or TB, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the Philippines still haven't solved TB problem. I mean, and this is not
Mm.
just Philippines, right? So there's going to be more affordable diagnostics, affordable medicine, affordable system, right? Innovation.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the what I see that's going to be moving forward. Right now, our focus with the Stephen, we're focusing more on oncology, immunology, and rare disease, like
Yeah.
kind of or metabolic disease, obesity, right? Because those are the
Mhm.
ones that make returns. I mean, you have to
Yeah.
kind of balance of course, the unmet needs with the commercial returns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of where we are, and but I think moving forward, as we move beyond the like just developed markets, uh,
Mm-hmm.
as developing countries do more of their own innovation,
Mm-hmm.
I see some of these innovations being more relevant to the local needs.
Yeah. Awesome.
One Filipino surgeon told me, "Oh, affordable innovation. That's the term." So
Awesome.
yeah, yeah.
So, you've mentioned something quite important, to be honest, like the affordability, and these are different markets. So, maybe if we switch gears a little bit on the regulatory, because these are different markets from different regions, trying to come into Southeast Asia or maybe trying to go into the US. how has the regulatory affected all these? And within Southeast Asia, where you guys are really vibrant, what will be your advice to some founders, maybe from the US or Europe or Canada, who are trying to come into the Asian market?
Yes, yes. So, of course, you have a US FDA or CE mark, right? I mean, before,
Yeah.
I mean, if you had the US FDA or CE mark, it's a lot easier, right? Of course, Asia is also very big, right?
Mhm,
I try to divide Asia into three different groups.
mhm.
One is going to be, I guess, countries in Southeast Asia. I mean, of
Yep.
course, they say that when you talk to the local guys, they all say they're difficult. But
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, compared to, let's say, China or Japan, right? China and Japan is
Mm,
the other spectrum, right? You need a
mm,
local, like, really, you really need the local trials and all that stuff. And it's expensive, right? The process, right?
yeah. Yep.
Southeast Asia still, I mean, like, I mean, Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, they're all different. But
Hmm.
generally, you're not going to be going the same kind of level of scrutiny as you're doing in Japan or China, right?
Oh.
And then you have countries in the middle, the Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, Australia. These are markets, right?
Mhm,
Obviously, they're more. I mean, they're going to be more difficult than
mhm,
other Southeast Asian countries,
mhm,
but it's going to be less stringent compared to, let's say, going to China or Japan, which are the
mm.
key big markets if you want to eventually enter Asia. Yeah.
That is awesome. To be honest, to clarify on the regulatory, because you find companies from the from Europe when they try to get into the US, there's a long process of FDA that needs to go through, which sometimes takes a considerable amount of time. And when it comes to the affordability, what do you think about the founders? How do they quote these prices of, let's say, the medical devices when they want to penetrate into the Asian market, for instance, Philippines? How will they make it affordable to the Filipino market?
Well, I mean, so that's the thing, right? So you need to go through, I mean, number one, you need to assess first, right? I mean, is Philippines even the good market for you, right? I mean, there's so many
Yeah.
markets here. If you're coming from
Mm,
Texas, right? I mean,
mm,
China, Japan difference is not going to be that big deal for you, right?
yeah.
So you need to first study the market and then
Mm,
kind of see if the market's big enough. Number one, is it big enough? And I mean,
mm,
two factors, right? The size of the market and also the complexity, right? So you need a
yep.
balance, right?
Mhm,
And let's say if you do decide to go to Philippines, then
yep.
yeah, I mean you need to understand the local regulation and also kind of a look at the market for that. Like, I mean
Mm,
obviously there are also a lot of wealthy people here, so they can pay, right?
yep.
But of course you have to kind of size the market, right? Who's gonna pay,
Mhm,
who can afford, right? And then of course you have to also find the right partner, right? Uh,
mhm,
you may go through some distributors who take a big margin, right? Uh,
mhm,
and maybe they're not even going to actively push your product. I mean, nobody
mhm,
wants to do the work, to be honest, right?
yep.
You need to have some options on the kind of channel partners, and
Mhm,
also have a good term, right?
mhm,
Because obviously you don't want to be stuck with a bad partner, and then
yeah.
you're not going to get the upside, and they take a big margin from you.
Mhm,
And of course, on a vice versa, the channel partner also has to make sure that the company is giving them good terms because
mhm,
channel partner also is going to invest, right? Like I was having a chat
mhm,
with the James from Gets, and James is telling me, look, like distribution business is not just like a just like it's not just the channel partner, right? Like the
yep.
or just getting a MOQ and the margins, right? They are
Mhm,
also investing. Like James is investing a few $1 million per product per market,
yeah.
right? So even though like they're just a distributor, they're
Mhm,
also investing. That's something that founders also need to understand.
mhm,
Good local partner will invest, whether time or money or resources, right?
mhm.
So they need to kind of balance all this consideration. Yeah.
Awesome. Meaning founders need to look for strategic investors, in short.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, so they need to kind of balance all this, right? Uh,
No.
Understand the market better, look at the pricing structure, also have some
Mhm,
optionality, right? And
yep.
also, if you have a good channel partner who really goes out of the way and invests time, that's great.
Mhm,
But
that's
there are
good.
also a lot of assholes who have, you know, who probably have like a Rolodex of kind of like the brokers, right? They have
Mm,
a Rolodex of opportunities. It's like, okay, here, like that, right?
mm,
No,
Yeah.
it's just kind of a very very brokerage kind of a style. Okay,
Yeah.
I think that's good. I think it's good for the first episode. I don't want to go. I don't want it to go too long, but I think it's a good start.
Hi, hello.
Innovation whisper.